Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is kind of a candid video right off the cuff. I just wanted to make a video on the patch notes for the servers. So I don't know what Blizzard has decided to do about the queue times. If you don't know, Wrath Classic is currently sitting in a very unique position. I say unique as a joke because this happened 3 years ago on the Classic servers. And you would think Blizzard would have implemented changes to stop this from happening at peak moments, right? So a big launch pre-patch hit and everyone wants to play the game, but no one can play the game because there are 5-hour server queues for some of these mega servers. And I will come right out and say it. Sure, you can move to a different server, it's whatever, but you forge bonds on these servers, you make friends on these servers, you have guilds on these servers. You don't just want to transfer off and you have to, what do you have to convince 10 of your friends to transfer off with you? Like, it's not a viable solution. So I do hope that in these patch notes they are going to address those issues, and we'll see what happens. So let me just pull that up here. All right, so I'll make it a bit bigger. Or I'll move myself here 1 second so that we... There we go. I'll move myself. Cool. All right, so let's get right into it. So Blizzard has published a very detailed post. So yeah, that's Wowhead. All right, here we go. So right here, we'll see it's on Wowhead. We're reading the Blizzard on Wrath Classic server queue issues. So Blizzard. Hi all. First off, thank you for your comments. I understand this is incredibly frustrating time. If you happen to be playing on one of these heavily impacted realms, I sincerely and personally apologize for the situation on these mega realms. Please do know that this is a top issue on our minds now, and we are actively working on solutions for the specific realms that are full right now. Reading forums, Reddit threads, Twitter comments, etc., one thing struck me is the sheer amount of misinformation and misunderstanding floating around. So I'm going to try and explain as best I can what we are doing now, what we are going, where we are going, the state and the nature of the problems. Oh no. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. So before I dive into this, do not tell me that this post is going to be explaining to us why we should not be mad at the server issues. And please, for the love of all that is holy, do not tell me that they are going to tell us they're offering free server transfers to other realms, because that's not a fix. I understand, like, some of us have been on these big servers for forever. It's not a fix to just say, go start over somewhere else. Huh? Okay, I mean, they haven't said that yet, so maybe I'm just jumping the gun here. But to say misinformation and misunderstanding floating around, what I assume they're talking about is the layering. A common fix I see popped around the Reddit threads is just, hey, add more layers. They don't have enough layers open. Layers do not increase server capacity. It just stops you from seeing 10,000 people on your screen at once and it bogging down your hardware. It limits the amount of people you see on each of your layers, and it helps your internet connection and your connection to the server. It does not help server capacity whatsoever. Okay, so let's go into it. So we have disabled new character creation and incoming paid transfers to US and EU mega realms, and they will remain locked indefinitely. Okay, so we'll read this really quick. This was a difficult choice that we feel is very heavy-handed. It is. By doing this, we cut off opportunities for new and returning players to join their friends on these large realms, possibly for many months. However, the situation on these realms is completely untenable, and even if we eliminate the queues in the short term, this is going to continue to be a problem when new content releases as the mega realms exist. As long as the mega realms exist. As a result, we've made the choice to effectively close US and EU mega realms to new and additional incoming players indefinitely. We will also be monitoring our other realms, and we will take similar steps if they begin to inch into Mega Realm territory in the future. And we may do so with little to no warning. We've been hesitant to do this because we really dislike restricting player movements, aka your $25, and potentially breaking up social circles, but that ethos is no longer compatible with the reality we find ourselves in. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let me tell you why this is an issue. Okay, so so I assume I'm going to read on, and I am assuming they're going to tell me to transfer to another realm, right? Like I assume that's what's going to happen. They're going to tell me to transfer to another realm, and we'll see. But let's theorize for a second. I'm on Benediction. I have a raiding guild on Benediction. I want to play my Death Knight in Wrath of the Lich King, or I want to play my priest or my mage or my hunter or my warrior, whatever. All of my characters on that server that I have made for the last couple years, right? I want to play those characters. So say I decide, okay, I'm gonna main a Death Knight, and I'm gonna play Death Knight through Wrath of the Lich King. And you know what? Just to gear him up and get ready, I'm gonna transfer off of Benediction for now, and then I'll move back when it cools down a little bit. Now they're telling me I can't move back. So the option to transfer to another server is now a permanent choice. It is not a temporary choice. Let alone, this isn't a choice. Like, they didn't give players this information last week. There are people I know from Benediction that transferred off to Sulfuras or the other server. I forget what it's called at the moment. Old Blanchy. With the idea that they could transfer back and come back in the future. But now we are saying that can't happen. And I do understand that their hands are tied. Like, we don't want people transferring to this server or creating new characters on this server and overwhelming the server load even more. We've seen this happen in Lost Ark, but it was a temporary solution and it only lasted a couple of days. It didn't last weeks, months, or the many months that they are saying here, right? Okay, let's move on. I'm getting a little heated, but let's move on. So, free transfers have been very successful so far, but we need more folks to move. Okay, so here we are. The onus is on the player to fix the issue for Blizzard. So I want to express a very sincere and heartfelt thanks to those that took the plunge and moved from one of these huge realms to FCM destinations such as Sulfuras US and Mograine EU. I've seen countless success stories affirming that moving to one of these realms has been a positive experience. These anecdotes were not surprising to us in the slightest. Because we know that almost every realm in service right now is perfectly vibrant and viable way to play, both of these destination realms are extremely healthy, if not nearly full at certain peak times. Nearly full at certain peak times. That's a good line. Let's look at that line here. Nearly full at certain peak times. Cool. If you are considering moving to one of these locations, I advise doing so before they become too full. As we will endeavor to end transfers before we allow them to queue. And we may do so suddenly and without warning. So before we go further into this, I need to say I was on Sulfuras. Sorry, I'm saying it weird. I just kind of was not expecting to make a video. I was on that server when it died. I was on that server in TBC when it was a great server. It died. The population got overtaken by Horde and it died. Everyone left. Blizzard essentially made everyone transfer off Sulfuras to Benediction. Right? They made everyone move over to Benediction. I didn't have all my characters on Sulfuras. Thankfully, I was just playing there with a couple of friends. Most of my characters were already on Benediction at the time. But it died. It existed. It was big and it died. Right? So are we just going to be playing server, hot potato? Are we just going to be jumping around from server to server? As one server gets too full, they're just going to move us to the next server. Then once Sulfuris gets full, they're going to move us back to Benediction. Then once Benediction gets full, we're going to go to Old Blanchy. Then once Old Blanchy gets full, we're going to go back to Sulfuris. You know, is this what we're going to do? Is this the options we have? Right, for a bit more, we'll go back and do it. For a bit more specifics around these destination realms health, let's take a look at Sulfuris. If we go back and look, nearly full at peak times. If it gets full, it's gonna queue again, right? What happens then? Right, so if we have a 12,000 player queue right now on Benediction, 5 hours. If all 12,000 of those people transfer over today, on top of the 40,000 incoming transfers that already exist, right? Are we not going to see queues again? Are they going to address that here? Like, no, we won't see queues for whatever reason. It's just, Blizzard can't take a W without taking 5 L's in the process, right? Good changes with Ulduar. The pre-patch it has some good changes with PvP gearing, and also here's 5 L's, and here's Blizzard telling me why we're wrong and we need to help fix the servers instead of the company that we pay $15 a month to. Right? Instead of the company we pay $15 a month to, we have to fix the servers. Okay, so let's go on. For a bit more specifics around these destination realms health, let's take a look at Sulfuris. Prior to last week, this realm had a low concurrency around half to 1/3 the size of a 2008 realm. Yeah, they were sitting at something like 800 players. In the past week, this realm has seen almost 40,000 incoming transfers, with 100 more still occurring per hour. These incoming transfers have made this very robust and in fact nearly full realm that right now sits at 4 times the size of a 2008 realm. And that's true. I mean, I looked at the WoW population for it and it has gone up. It is around like 8,000 now, or 10,000, something like that. Last I looked, I mean, that could be more by now. The fact is, however, this isn't enough on its own to fix the situation on realms such as Benediction and Fairlina. True. Now that Sulfuris and Mograine are starting to trend upwards towards filling up themselves, we need to look at other solutions and potential destinations. As a result, we've implemented a few new FCM solutions specifically targeted at Benediction, Fairlina, and Grobulus in the US. For now, we haven't forgotten about the EU. You can read about this new FCM destination realm, Aranicus, here. To provide players who wish to escape the queues with a pristine environment to begin creating communities together, we have now opened a new destination for the free character transfers for overpopulated realms, Aranicus PvP. These realms can be accessed via the free transfer from Benediction. Additionally, all 4 of these realms are now locked for character creation, which means it is only possible to create a character in a realm if you already have a character on that realm. Please note we will close them when we see approaching. Yeah. So we get transferred to a fresh server? That's what they're saying? Again, this is just like, I mean, yeah, okay. I try to make this as least of a rant video as I possibly can. The fact is, however, this is enough. As Sulfuris has proven, free character moves can and do result in positive play experience on the destination realm. We still have far more than enough players stuck in queue on these few mega realms that we could easily fill. That we could easily fill up multiple other Sulfuris level realms if players take the next round of FCMs that we make available. Sorry, stuttering. We again strongly encourage you to take available FCMs, especially if you want to jump in and join Sulfuris and Mograine in particular, as we will be ending the transfer to Sulfuris very soon, and we may need to do something similar to Mograine as well in the coming days. Alright, the mega realms in the US and EU are full. Also, layers is not the solution. We know layers are not the solution. You're just gonna tell me why layers aren't the solution here? Okay, we will start. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was at such a high with Wrath of the Lich King and the pre-patch. I was very, very positive. I was feeling great. And I was actually going to make a video on like an opposite Doomer Wrath of the Lich King video, because I have been seeing a lot of content pop up that's like, why Wrath won't be exactly what you remember, like why Wrath of the Lich King will be a failure, all this stuff, you know, a lot of Doomer videos. And I was looking for something a bit more positive, a bit more upbeat. Like, not that those don't deserve their place, or not that those are wrong or anything. Like, they definitely have the right idea, right? Like, there are a lot of those have good things to say. Just, you know, something a bit more positive, have a bit more fun with it, because I was really excited about Wrath. This is completely taking the wind out of my sails, dude. I don't know what to do. Like, do I just start over and I go to a different realm, right? I convince my friends that have their own guild, you know, to start to move over. It's just like, I don't know what to do. I have no idea. If I move over to Sulfuris, is it going to die again? Is it going to fill up again? Am I going to move to Sulfuris and it's going to just be queues again once Wrath drops, you know? Because where does it matter where I wait in a queue? It doesn't really. So whatever. We'll start with the easiest and most clear-cut statement to make. The mega realms that are queuing are completely full. The statement is absolutely the state of things, and there is no additional capacity we can add to these realms to allow more players or to reduce the queues. One common suggestion we get is to just add more layers, and it is very important to understand that layers do not add in any way to capacity. Layers are a classic specific solution to alleviate congestion in the game world in a densely populated area. That's what I said earlier. The way they work, I already know the way they work. Yeah, so it's congestion. It's for casting spells. It's for like PvP. It's for like just like high player dense areas that would weigh the server down. It's there to help the server so that we don't see frame lag, we don't see input lag, we don't see any of that nonsense, right? Because you don't want that. So, you know, it is a good thing. Neither of these system services increase realm capacity. Yes, shards and that do not increase realm capacity. We know that. So how are we fixing it? How are we fixing realm capacity? Realm capacity is dictated by the total number of connections that the service itself can handle. Every time a player connects to a realm, that connection interacts with numerous services, systems. It adds to the total load on the persistent database that the entire game relies on to fetch data related to players, spells, quests, creatures, auctions, etc. When that total number of connections to a realm, DB, and services reaches a certain number, the services will degrade or fail on multiple levels, leading to symptoms like severe auction house lag or outages. We're already experiencing those, right? We're already experiencing those. Chat performance degradation, already experiencing that. My whole guild chat just didn't work yesterday for like an hour. You know, or lag when attempting to loot items. Never in WoW's history has the capacity of realms been as high as they are now. And even with our modern capacity, we can still sometimes experience degradation when the realms are at full and DB load is at its peak. So to put it as plainly as possible, we cannot increase capacity anymore without inviting additional and likely cascading failures to the service. At present, the best and only way to resolve this issue for the impacted realms is for players to leave the realms via free transfers. There is no technology solution to this. There is no hardware solution to this. The situation will not improve when Wrath of the Lich King launches on September 26th. It will only get worse. Oh my God. Who wrote this? This is not a PR person. This was not a community manager. This was not someone who knows how to talk to the public. This is classic, dude. This is classic. This is so reminiscent of them telling us we don't want classic in the first place, right? You think you want it, but you don't. This is exactly that. This is so reminiscent of that failure. They need to get people writing these who know how to talk to customers, because this isn't it. This is not it. I understand that we might have a technical limitation, but that's not on the onus of the player. That's not the customer who has to worry about that. This is a Blizzard issue that they have to figure out. And if I'm looking at, so, you know, maybe I don't know about the servers, that's completely fine. But if I'm looking at retail, for example, why can't we bring in a similar situation to retail where we have like Sulfuris, Benediction, Fairlina, all of these servers combined in a bracket, a data bracket where like they play off of each other. You can queue with people in Fairlina, and when you join the server, it's just a bunch of people from different servers all around. Why aren't we bringing in a retail like system for Classic, right? Why? You know, why can I go on a private? I mean, I don't want to bring in private servers because I'm sure they lie about their player base, so that's probably why servers aren't that big of an issue over there. But if we look at retail, you know, they have a solution for it. Why aren't we using the retail solution? Are we not using the retail solution because Blizzard is listening to the community? If Blizzard should not be listening to the community if the community is just saying, "Oh, retail bad, Classic good." You know, do not bring in system from retail because retail is a bad game and I play Classic. No, don't listen to the community if that's what they're saying. Bring in the system from retail because you know what? It works. I've never sat in a queue in retail in my life. And I can tell you that a ton of people are playing, more people are playing retail than they're playing Classic. They gotta be. It has to be. I mean, we don't have the exact numbers and I know that they're diving now, but in peak retail, like in peak Shadowlands, you know, I wasn't sitting in queues. There was a couple of queues, but it wasn't 5 hours. So I understand the stress of the developers here, and I understand them saying like we have a technological failure, but that's not on the customer. That is not a customer issue. You shouldn't be trying to explain to me why you can't do something. You should be just giving me a solution and figuring it out, because this is unacceptable. It's not acceptable to tell me to just transfer to a different realm, right? Because the same thing is just going to happen on that realm. It's already happened. We've seen it happen with Classic already. We've seen it. We've moved to Sulfuris. Sulfuris dies. Everyone moves to Benediction, right? We've seen it. Benediction gets full. Now everyone has to move back to Sulfuris. So when Sulfuris is full, where are we going? We're going to this new server? What about when that server gets full? Like, this isn't... Are you mad that you have so many people trying to play your game, right? Like, the average person isn't going to be watching this video. The average person isn't going to be reading these patch notes. They're going to see a 5-hour queue and go, wow, I guess I can't play with my friends. I'll go play Valorant or something, right? I'll go play New World. You're losing players by the day when you don't fix this. You're losing players, but you're losing your hardcore fan base when you make a post like this that blames players for misinformation. You know, I understand you're just trying to explain something, but this is not it. This is written, it sounds like this is written by a product manager, right? It's definitely written by a developer, right? It doesn't communicate to the customer. We need to stop letting the developers communicate to the customer. Blizzard is Activision Blizzard is $1 billion company. And if you make the servers too big, okay, it's going to be introducing some of these issues. So why can't we have a system similar to retails, right? Why can't we have a system similar to retails? I'm interested to see what people are saying about this in the comments. It's not going to be good, I guarantee you. A glimpse at other realms in relative terms. The post is already long, but on the topic of viable realm options, I also wanted to take some time to dispel some outright falsehoods about the viability of realms that are not mega realms. For our realm consolidation effort last month, I'd like to paint a picture of how large some of these realms are relative to 2008. Why do we keep comparing it to 2008? We don't care. We just want to get on the server and play the game. We don't care about the increase from 2008. So Sulfuris is 4 times like to what it was in 2008. Atiash 2.5 times. Okay, what does that mean to me? Right? What does that mean to me? Nothing. I wish I could share exact numbers with you, but suffice to say, the realms above have a peak concurrent population ranging from several thousand to well over 10,000 players each day. Okay. Great. So if we had a 10,000 player concurrent player, what is the cap of sulfurous? What is the actual cap? What is the cap when we start to queue, right? Because if we have 40,000 incoming character transfers, say that's 2 characters a person, we're sitting at 20,000 people moving over. And if we're seeing 10,000 concurrent players a day on sulfurous, is that the cap? Is 10,000 the cap? So now are we looking at a possible 10,000 player queue moving forward in the future, or is 20,000 the cap? And we're looking at a no queue because there's not that many players, right? If 20,000 is the cap, you know, are we looking at a 10,000 player queue if we bring 10,000 more players in? Is 30,000 the cap? What is the capacity for these realms so that we know how close they're getting to these queues? That seems pretty reasonable, right? Because I'm not just going to transfer. I know, what do we have? 175,000 characters on Benediction right now. Online at a time, I think it's something that's around 30,000 or something, I believe, if any of these sites can be trusted. And we have an average of 9,000 to 10,000 players in queue every day. So we have 10,000 more players than we can hold on that server. If 10,000 players transfer to sulfurous, is that going to overload sulfurous? Right? That's what we need to know. Is that going to overload that server to make it queue? So these realms are not queuing now. Many have never queued, have healthy and robust economies. Yeah. The narrative that these huge mega realms are the only viable place to play is just untrue. And we want to drive... Okay, so it's not that they're not viable to play in. They definitely are. It's just... with the systems Blizzard has in place now, we have all experienced when sulfurous had no players to play with. When it took me 3.5 hours as a healer to find a dungeon group. When it took me 4 or 5 hours to form a raid group, right? To have enough people to play with, you know, to find a real guild that I felt like I was at home with, that I had friends with, that I could hang out with, that I could play games with, you know. It is very, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth when you have transferred to a realm and it crashes to a point of unplayability where I was on that server for so long, I had to pay $25 to transfer all of my characters off, my remaining characters off, right? I shouldn't have done that. Obviously I shouldn't have done that. And now you want me to go back. Are you going to give me my $25 back that I used to transfer my priest over to Benediction? To transfer him over to sulfurous? Can I get my $25 back for that? Probably not, right? Yeah, I didn't think so, right? So overall, realm health and management has been the most challenging aspect of managing WoW Classic because you're trying to do it on a budget, right? You're trying to do it on a budget, right? That's it. Tell us you're trying to do it on a budget. There's no way WoW Classic has the funding retail has. And if it does, what's happening? Right, when these mega realms started to emerge last year, we were concerned about their impact, but we were very hesitant to take a heavy-handed approach of breaking up friend groups and restricting player freedoms. So I understand this is a complicated issue and it requires nuance and it requires thought and it requires something special to get it to work, but that's not on the customer. We're not the ones who should be fixing the issues, right? You should be fixing the issues. If you can't manage Benediction, how can we trust that you're going to be able to manage Sulfurous? How can we trust that you're going to be able to manage Old Blanchie? How can we trust that you're going to be able to manage the new server, right? What is stopping this? Nothing in here has told us what's stopping this from happening in the future, other than you're going to stop people from transferring there or making new characters there, which doesn't seem like the option, right? Because if I convince my friend 3 weeks into Wrath of the Lich King to start a character, and then they can't because the server's full, that doesn't seem like the answer. Why aren't we looking to retail? That's what I want in this post is to tell me why we can't look to retail for server fixes. Right? If it's a different infrastructure, that doesn't really make sense, because didn't we move TBC into the Legion engine? If I'm not mistaken, didn't we move TBC Classic into the Legion engine? So shouldn't we be able to use similar servers or similar systems to retail? I don't know. But let's look at the comments, because I need to see what people are saying, because maybe I'm just outraged. We may do so suddenly without warning. Do they hate the players? Do they hate the players? Yeah. Upgrade your infrastructure to support mega servers. It's what the people want. Stop comparing it to 2008. This is 2022 and you knew this was going to happen. Thank you. That's a great comment. Stop comparing this to 2008, right? We're in 2022 and this happened in 2019. You know, you introduced the mega servers, whatever, but this same thing happened in 2019. Are you going to make people feel bad for wanting to play your game? That doesn't make any sense. To which level does a company have to fall to say masses of paying customers that they're wrong? That's how technology worked 15 years ago. Absolutely despicable and primitive behavior on Blizzard's end. Yes, it has to feel really embarrassing in 2022 to admit that your servers are so outdated that you're not sticking to them. That you're not only sticking to them and refusing to upgrade, but that you physically can't do anything about the fact that thousands of people pay you $15 a month and had to sit in a queue to get in. The solution of opening up one new realm when by their admission 4 servers have large enough queues to fill one realm is unreal. One new server is not enough. Or is it? One new server is not enough. If you're trying to tell people in the queue to go to a new realm, if they do so, it will fill up before Benediction has a chance for... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's embarrassing that we're comparing this to 2008. It is embarrassing that we haven't upgraded our servers. It is embarrassing that they still think Classic's a failure, that they can't support it with a real budget. Everything about this is embarrassing. Whoever wrote... Like, I understand how frustrating it is for misinformation to be out there and for you to say, like, everyone just say, update layers, it's fine. Get off Reddit. Stop reading Reddit, right? Stop reading the community forums. These players, they don't know anything. They don't know how servers work. We don't have to educate them on how servers work because it's not their job to know how the servers work. Okay? We just really want the game to work. So if the solution is grabbing the retail servers and mimicking that and upgrading the infrastructure there, fantastic, let's do that. If you have to shut down the server for 2 days or a day, you know that's not ideal, but if you're upgrading the servers permanently to do that, I'm sure players would be happy if you compensate them with something. So stop making players feel bad for wanting to play your game, right? Stop guilting players for not understanding how system infrastructure works because they just want to play your game, right? Give us an answer. What is the support article? Connected Realms. Exactly what I'm saying. Connected Realms is the answer. Is it not the answer? How is that not the answer? How is there not a technological answer? Why didn't that post tell us why we can't use Connected Realms? That's what I want to know, right? Like, we literally don't, like, it's like... server identity at this point doesn't matter. I just don't want to leave my guild. So if you can merge my server with another server, do it. Right? Like, random dungeon finders and a thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So they listened to the community about not bringing in random dungeon finder, a feature that was in Wrath of the Lich King, because people were convinced that that is what ruined World of Warcraft, was the random dungeon finder. They failed to remember that the LFR system is really what ruined Wrath of the Lich King. And it ruined World of Warcraft. It didn't ruin it, but it is where the game started to take a deviation and go into a territory that people didn't like. With the LFR system, it just spread everything out way too thin, and it did take World of Warcraft in a bad direction. The random dungeon fighter didn't do that in Wrath of the Lich King. It was barely noticeable, right? There was still player interaction, there was still community interaction, there were still guild interactions. RDF didn't take that away. But the fact that we have removed random dungeon fighter for this mediocre dungeon finder we have in the game, it's fine, whatever, we'll use it. makes playing on a smaller server an issue. It makes it an issue. So all of these seem like problems that Blizzard has raised themselves. And you know, it is good to listen to the community, and I understand that you want to do that, but sometimes you need to know when to stop. And sometimes you need to know when to stop writing a 3,000 word patch notes that is just blaming the community for not understanding how servers work. Right? We have connected realms. I want to be excited about Wrath of the Lich King. I want to play the game. I want to get my PvP gear before the pre-patch is over. And I just want Blizzard to stop taking so many L's, dude. You know, I was going to make a very positive video about being excited about Wrath of the Lich King, and I still probably will do that. I'm just gonna have to take a step back and maybe, you know, not log on for a couple days. You know, maybe if I get on tomorrow, who knows? But I'm very mad, and being blamed for misinformation, and just be a post trying to educate me on server loads and why the servers are good because they are 4 times bigger than 2008 servers is just something else, you know. Who knows? Maybe New World's gonna make a comeback in the next couple months. Yeah, if you don't follow the channel, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. I stream and I have fun. I'm not always mad, so I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.